The platform breaks the snow into obedient straight lines. A thermos balances between our knees like secret wines. We board the quiet carriage where the map of sleeping shines, and write in fog-on windows all the almost and the signs. Your suitcase sighs, a weary thing with stickers, ports, and prayers. You lean against my shoulder like a city saying fares. We speak in codes of station clocks and bridges, Ferris stairs, and promise not to promise once we reach the county fairs. The train begins a lullaby in iron, coal, and heat. We list the future cities like a necklace, soft and sweet. You draw a tiny heart upon the ticket's numbered sheet and kiss it just in case the conductor feels our beat. Night train to your name, I count the syllables like lights. They pass like little lighthouses across the folded nights. I vow to follow even when the tunnel swallows sights, and hold you when the rhythm makes our vows new appetites. Clattering tags, we step out into winter where the station proudly brags that lovers always travel well on rails and woolen flags. The whistle carves a canyon in the frozen midnight air. We rub our thumbs on ticket stubs to call the courage there. The carriage rocks a cradle where our guarded hopes repair. Night train to your name arrives and finds us both prepared. Mileposts tick like metronomes through towns that sleep in rows. We list the lullabies of places no one knows. A baggage rack holds raincoats and the dreams that travel close, and dawn pours orange honey where the snowbank slowly glows. Barefoot on the corridor marble, the ice machine humming low. Lipstick drying on a paper napkin shaped like a bow. You left your sweater like a whisper on the chandelier's glow. I keep the window cracked to hear the river's undertow. A key card flickers green then red like jealous traffic lights. I press my cheek to cool glass and swallow city nights. Your name fogs up the pain, dissolving into heights. Somebody laughs on the street, I practice softer bites. The elevator dings a hymn in chrome and velvet shade. I trace the hem of dawn where your shadow used to fade. Room service cloche, a silver moon that never stayed. Coffee tastes like winter hands and promises we made. My dress remembers every hallway we once crossed. Perfume clings to curtain pleats, a map of what we lost. I count the stitches in the dark to tally up the cost. The mirror keeps my secrets, but the mirror's edge is frost. You said love was slower than a needle dropping rain. I said love is faster than a rumor on a train. We met between those tempos like a sultry hidden lane. Now time keeps licking at the wounds it cannot drain. Velvet after midnight, velvet at my throat. A soft electric bruise beneath your smallest note. I'd trade the chandelier for one more borrowed coat to walk the hotel roof and let the city float. The key card hums a lullaby to river lacquered lamps. My wrists keep velvet ribbons from the city's brighter clamps. We take the stairs with morning shoes and half-forgiven stamps and let the hallway swallow us like gentle glowing camps. Shadow on the barroom floor, mercury under glass. We orbit like two clock hands, pretending not to pass. Your dress is made of thunder clouds that barely let me ask if midnight has a softer face behind its silver mask. The string quartet is trembling like a chandelier in wind. I step on your confession and you say I should rescind. We laugh like fallen marbles chasing corners skinned. By every rule of gravity we break but still pretend. My wrists are inked with constellations, tiny, flawed and bright. I trace the one that matches you and hide it in the light. Your perfume tastes of elderflower and taxi break at night. We waltz around a rumor and we hold it almost right. The waiter spills a comet of Prosecco We're dancers with a deadline, honey, soul, and jade. I count to 3, then 2, then 1, a vow we almost made, and kiss the air between our mouths, a narrow colonnade. When the band packs up the moon and stacks it in a case, we linger by the coat check like a half-erased embrace. Mercury slow dance in a world that will not trace, a map to keep us spinning so we memorize your face. We practice one more waltz beneath the chandelier's dim seam. Mercury on mirrors makes a tunnel soft as dream. Your boat and mine is gravity, a secret silver beam. We leave our fingerprints on time and let the planets gleam. We find the antique carousel behind the locked-up gate. Its horses wear a halo made of dust and borrowed fate. You say you always wanted to be dizzy, slow and late. I feed a coin to memory and hear the gears debate. The organ coughs a lullaby the 1920s left. We climb on painted saddles and confess each little theft of hours from our work days, of kisses in the cleft between a yes and maybe where our better selves have wept. We orbit like a secret moon around a city square. Your laughter scratches sunlight on the copper of my care. The mirrors splinter 3 of you, then fold them into prayer. I reach for every version and they all are warm and fair. We talk about the calliope that drives the world to dance, how love is just a carousel that gives the brave a chance to circle what they long for in a ritual of trance, until the music slows and we must practice abstinence. When night puts on her gloves again and shades her steady eyes, we pocket dusty halos for the days of colder skies, and promise to return with pomp and foolish compromise, to ride until the painted mare forgets to dramatize. We feed it 2 more coins until the mirrors blur our eyes. Calliope and laughter make a treaty with our sighs. A halo made of dust and love becomes our best disguise. We step off feeling younger than the somber winter skies. The token roll is thunder in a There's a hotel key in the ashtray, glazed in nicotine and gold, sunk like a coin in amber, kept for keeping what we told. Curtains heavy as a winter coat, someone forgot to fold. A bedside Bible underlined in lipstick, brave and bold. Your shoes point to the exit, mine face the little bar. Ice melts in a bucket like a minor falling star. I learn your favorite silence in the stripes of window scar, and map the city on your chest, a glowing reservoir. Elevator coughs up laughter from the wedding down the hall. We swear we'll crash it later with our perfume and a shawl, but velvet finds our ankles like a low tide kind of call, and we become a secret etched into the peeling wall. Room numbers blink like Morse code, pleading please return. I blow on dice you never roll and watch the corners burn. You say you left your watch at home to let the minute learn how long a breath can hold a love, how slow a world can turn. Housekeeping floats by morning with a symphony of keys. I gather up your cologne from the pillow's faded crease. We make a bed of warnings and of tender, stubborn pleas, then sign the register with names we'll never use again with ease. There's a checkout at 11 and a promise at 2, but time keeps pulling sheets off everything we knew. The ashtray gleams with secrets and a rented point of view. I pocket that small metal moon and leave with part of you. The ashtray keeps its meteor, a brass and borrowed star. We breathe the last blue smoke and leave the door ajar. Checkout slips like silk from hands that learned how brief we are. I pocket one small orbit and it follows from afar. The radio between the stations fills with woolly snow. We lie across the carpet where the faulty sockets glow. I trace a circle on your knee that only we could know. You hum an ancient pop song no one else would slow. Outside the traffic murmurs like a faucet left ajar. Our neighbors toast to something with the rattle of a jar. You say the world is louder than a downtown dive bar. I say the quiet we can make could be a little star. Honey, in the static, when you say my name, it travels like a lighthouse through the receipts that prove we tried to be a softer kind of clan. You pull the quilt up to our chins and hold the rhythm still. We count to 3, then 2, then 1, and let the thunder spill. The power flickers once or twice. We don't believe it will abandon us to candles and to ghosts that windows fill. By morning, dust like fireflies is dancing in the beams. The radio surrenders to a clearer voice that seems to sing the very thing we said inside our midnight dreams. Honey in the static, gold between our seams. We tune the dial to wonder till the city clicks away. A filament of honey keeps the darkest doubts at bay. When fuses fail, your whisper is the small returning day, and static holds us softly like a gold and silver spray. There's a candle in a tumbler, giving jazz to shadow walls. The record keeps a secret in the hiss between its falls. You sway with fingertips that edit out my flaws and spin me like a vinyl sleeve that knows its older laws. The needle lifts a splinter of a velvet afternoon. A trumpet throws confetti made of bitters and of moon. Your perfume tastes of apricot and accident and two. Now hold your gaze the way a skyline cages late June. We borrowed someone's speakers and we turned them soft and loud. A neighbor taps the ceiling like a storm inside a cloud. We laugh into the darkness and the darkness makes a shroud, then tears it with a chorus where my mouth is safe and proud. I'd promise you a library of evenings just like this, where wax and flame and heartbeat make a modest kind of bliss. We catalog the kisses like a vinyl lover's list and press the label down to make the edges never miss. By side B, night is syrup on the windowsill and floor. We don't rewind the beginning, we adore the gentle soar of knowing time is limited and asking still for more. Candlelight over vinyl, love will always listen for. Wax remembers fingerprints and keeps them warm as proof. We dance upon the creaking floor, a tender crested roof. The needle sleeps at last and leaves a silver faithful woof, while candlelight like a hidden holy score. I found a single rose, thorn in the fold where cheeks have slept. It pricked my fingertip as if the dark itself had wept. You smiled a little guilty, said the florist must have kept a secret stitched in ribbons where the fragile roses crept. Our bed a wide museum of the nights we tried to mend. We make a temporary truce with cotton as a friend. I promise to be gentler when the long hours bend. You promise to be honest even when they never end. I kiss the crescent shadow where your eyelash softly lies. We talk about the morning and its difficult goodbyes. You tuck my hair behind my ear and shelter both my eyes from daylight's quick insistence and its bossy little spies. The coffee stains the newspaper with rumors of a war. We shield our quiet kingdom with a trembling bedroom door. Thorns on the pillowcase remind me what we swore, to tend each other's gardens with a patience never poor. When afternoon grows lavender and traffic starts to moan, we pick the rose apart and plan each petal like a bone. In books we loved and shoes we wore and pockets we have known, so fragrance follows everywhere we dare to be alone. We rinse the thorn in rose water and hide it in a glass. The linen keeps the lesson as the softer hours pass. You smooth the sheet and promise me the morning will be class, and every tender danger we will sweetly let a mess. We sew a softer seam with thread the color of relief. A thimble crowns your finger like a tiny silver leaf. The window learns to open to a noon forgiving brief, and breeze replaces nightmares with a linen scented chief. The alley makes a chapel with its crooked metal spine. A puddle keeps a galaxy of signage in a line. You light a stubborn match and bless the evening's wine. We share a smoke that stitches both our breathing intertwined. The moon is just a thumbnail over warehouses and cranes. Someone hums a lullaby lie about mistakes and trains. Your coat is velvet asphalt, your hair a ribbon plains. I count the ways your mouth invents perfumes from the rain. We talk of little mischiefs we have kept in dresser drawers, of postcards from the places where the night forgets its floors. You say you like the sound of keys rehearsing other doors. I say I like the quiet that remembers how it roars. A black cat does a pirouette around your rain-soaked boots. We build a tiny orchestra from bottles, bricks, and flutes. I taste the smoke on syllables and plant a row of shoots where hope could grow in concrete cracks and sweetly hoard its fruits. Your fingers smell of cedar and a cafe down on 3rd. I memorize the commas in each complicated word. The thunder keeps its distance like a secret never heard, and lightning like a camera makes us saints without a church. The cigarette goes lunar, the filter stained with kiss. We drop it in the puddle where reflections write us this. Perfume rain keeps falling, steady, merciless. I take your arm and vow to always walk you through abyss. The puddle keeps a star for us and trembles at our feet. Cigarette moons go dim and let the alley hum be sweet. Perfume rain writes cursive on the window of the street. We close the matchbook warm and full with vows we'll never cheat. Your kitchen smells of syrup and a vinyl station late. You wipe a scarlet thumbprint from a coffee cup of slate. The DJ names a city where the lovers congregate. We nod as if attendance were a vow we'd replicate. A jar of cherries bleeds upon a cutting board of wood. I taste the stain and lick my lips and say it tastes like good. You laugh and say that flavor is a scandal if it should. Remind me of a kindness someone else misunderstood. The radio plays so that makes the curtains want to dance. We slow our hips and let the small appliances take stance. A timer ticks, a metronome that blues would call romance. I count the freckles on your arm like miles of second chance. We talk about the letters that we never meant to send. They sit in drawers with paper clips that think they are a friend. You peel a lonesome sticker from a jar that had an end and the spoon against the rim to let the minutes pass. The DJ plays a ballad that could solder broken brass. Dark cherry radio makes sorrow sweet at last. The DJ fades to whispers and the kitchen learns to hush. A cherry stain on collarbone becomes a winter blush. We slow dance with the refrigerator's sympathetic rush and let the chorus crown us with a simple holy hush. The late informer hoe glows like snow behind a veil. A spoon rings crystal once to mark our rosy tale. Syrup on your tongue becomes a vow that will not fail. We dim the light and let the chorus write us in its scale. The flute is thin as rumor, your lipstick on the rim. We toast to small survivals until lamps go cold and dim. A violin upstairs complains about a hymn. We promise we'll be kinder when the future lets us swim. The bubbles make a ladder that refuses to hold weight. We laugh at our bravado, then confess that we could wait for one more lazy winter where the snow arrives too late and gives us faulty reasons to delay the heavy gate. I find your wrist in darkness like a dog that lights a boat. You breathe an ocean alphabet, all vowels in your throat. We name the constellations after things we couldn't note and shake the bottle once to make a firework of code. Champagne, melancholy, velvet on the edge. We drink the bright and keep the hollow, honest in its pledge. Your hair is on my buttons like a storm against a ledge. I kiss the tiny sorrow till it softens from its wedge. The night forgets the hour when the elevator sleeps. We walk the carpet hallway counting paisley printed steeps. Your laugh becomes a chandelier, the quiet almost keeps. I tip the bottle skyward and the last gold softly weeps. The hallway smells of citrus and of carpet cleaning sea. We clink the lonely flutes and make a private amnesty. When bubbles fade to memory, you lean and rescue me. Champagne writes our initials in a slow transparency. The cork, small iron cage sits curled beside the sink. Elevator mirrors teach us how two shadows link. Minibar lemons glow like coins we'll never drink. We walk the silk descending stairs where footsteps softly think. You braided quiet into my hair with ribbon made of dusk. Set the gramophone to spin a swing of amber musk. Cut a halo out of paper from a cereal box's husk. Pinned it to my head and called me brave and just. The kettle sang a little grief, a porcelain refrain. You wrote your favorite future in the fog upon the pane. Said every saint is tired and every sinner rain. We held our breath to hear the silverware complain. I kept the matches hidden near the flour and the salt. You tapped them like a telegraph, refusing to exalt. The toast popped up like warnings from a softer fault, and butter drowned the edges, warm and spun with malt. We argued over angels and the weight of velvet ropes. You drew a card of lovers from a deck of smoky hopes. I dealt the queen of winter and a palace made of slopes. We skated on the kitchen tiles like half-forgiven tropes. Your collar smelled of thunder, your sleeve of distant trains. I tasted old confessions in the honey of your veins. We counted fallen lentils like the year's impatient grains, and let the radio be holy in its stuttering domains. My paper halo bent and tore when you began to sleep. I patched it with a grocery list and something soft and cheap. If faith is featherlight, then why is this climb so steep? I tucked the crown beneath the bed and promised not to weep. The paper halo crinkles when the kettle learns to sing. I tape it with a grocery star and one more tender string. You laugh and crown me anyway, a fragile, fearless thing. We walk into the morning light to see what vows will bring. A telegram arrives in ink the color lovers choose. It says the weather turns to silk, where we will meet to lose. The clerk adjusts his spectacles as if he could refuse, but velvet blue persuades the day to buckle at the news. I buy a carnation, bruise it with my ring, tie it to my wrist so I remember what I bring. You wait beneath a mural where the pigeons crown a king, and let the traffic write a score we know we shouldn't sing. The phone booth holds a whisper, nickel and a vow. I dial your memory carefully and listen to the now. Your voice is like a matchbook from a bar that's burning slow. I strike it on my teeth to see the thoughts you let me know. We walk the boulevard where mannequins look bored, discuss the angle jealousy has sharpened on a sword. You say devotion tastes like salt, the hungry mouth adored. I say it tastes like citrus rind, a winter night is stored. The telegram keeps humming in the lining of my coat. I press it to my sternum like a secret little boat. If love is freight, then let it be the steel we let to float across the bridge where shadows keep a ledger of each note. A blue velvet telegram, a script we didn't write, yet every letter fits your wrists and keeps me warm tonight. I fold it into tiny squares and tuck it out of sight, where it will never fade and never ask us to be right. When the streetlights fall apart, you press your palm to mine to make the voltage start, and telegram the night with love's electric velvet sheets on the clothesline, ghosting in the moon. Floodlights from the ballpark paint a trembling noon. You pin a corner to my sleeve and hum a crooked tune, and say that even laundry holds a secret we'll call soon. Your laugh is warm detergent, jasmine, lemon peel. I make a tent of cotton where the air can We two become a summer that the crickets want to steal, and kiss between the pillowcases, soft enough to heal. The neighborhood is murmurs and a radio of blues. A moth is doing ballet on the porch light snooze. I drank your silhouette and every quiet bruise, and vow to wash the hours till they fit the life we choose. We talk about a city we could build from rope and thread, where promise is a clothesline strung from roof to bed, where even rain is careful how it touches what we said, and every gust of wind returns the buttons we have shed. You twirl a wooden clothespin like a saint with tiny wings, clip my wandering thoughts before the longing stings. We sway with cotton galaxies and house-made holy things, in linen floodlights tender as the song a locust sings. At midnight when the ballpark dims and moths begin to sleep, we take the sheets inside like a vow that we will keep. Lie down in freshly folded air and let the silence seep. The world smells like forgiveness, laundered bright and deep. A moth becomes a pendulum the porch light cannot teach. We fold a universe of sheets a fingertip can reach. Floodlights fade to lavender behind the stadium speech. We sleep in clean forgiveness like a tide along the beach. Barefoot on the corridor marble, the ice machine humming low, lipstick drying on a paper napkin shaped like a bow. You left your sweater like a whisper on the chandelier's glow. I keep the window cracked to hear the river's undertow. A key card flickers green and red like jealous traffic lights. I press my cheek to cool glass and swallow city nights. Your name fogs up the pain, dissolving into heights. Somebody laughs on the street. I practice softer bites. The elevator dings a hymn in chrome and velvet shade. I trace the hem of dawn where your shadow used to fade. Room service cloche, a silver moon that never stayed. Coffee tastes like winter hands and promises we made. My dress remembers every hallway we once crossed. Perfume clings to curtain pleats, a map of what we lost. I count the stitches in the dark to tally up the cost. The mirror keeps my secrets is frost. You said love was slower than a needle dropping rain. I said love is faster than a rumor on a train. We met between those tempos like a soldier hidden lane. Now time keeps licking at the wounds it cannot drain. Velvet after midnight, velvet at my throat, a soft electric bruise beneath your smallest note. I trade the chandelier for one more borrowed coat to walk the hotel roof and let the city float. The key card hums a lullaby to river lacquered lamps. My wrists keep velvet ribbons from the city's brighter clamps. We take the stairs with morning shoes and half-forgiven stamps, and let the hallway swallow us like gentle glowing camps. The rain invents a drumline on the market's canvas tent. I buy a pear for sweetness and forgive the way it bent. You tilt a red umbrella like an oath that heaven sent. We hide beneath its radius, a temporary event. The cobblestones are inked with letters bleeding through. A florist wraps a lightning bolt in paper green and blue. We pass a bus stop sermon where a stranger swears we knew that love is simply shelter, yet it drenches people to you. Sip of paper, cup of tea, the lid a shaky crown. Steam makes halos in the air and tries to settle down. I kiss the little raindrops from your collar's velvet brown and let the city wash our names and wear them like a gown. A violinist busks beneath a statue's copper gaze. He plays a salt wet tango that sets the morning ablaze. We sway at pedestrian lights that count in stubborn haze, and share the kind of glances that the storm itself will praise. Your mascara draws a river, midnight on your skin. I catch a drop on fingertips and hide it like a sin. You tell me storms are truthful, they refuse to even grin. I say I feel most honest when the thunder lets me in. Red umbrella over us, a planet we can steer. I'd trade 1,000 summers for this loud, translucent year. When weather folds around our breath and makes the map appear, we walk until the gutters sing and all the streets are clear. Gutters ride a cadence only storm-lit lovers know. We steer our red small planet through the boulevards of glow. When thunder signs the ledger, we approve it very slow, and certify the flow. The alley makes a chapel with its crooked metal spine. A puddle keeps a galaxy of signage in a line. You light a stubborn match and bless the evening's wine. We share a smoke that stitches both our breathing intertwine. The moon is just a thumbnail over warehouses and cranes. Someone hums a lullaby about mistakes and trains. Your coat is velvet asphalt, your hair a ribbon plains. I count the ways your mouth invents perfumes from the rains. We talk of little mischiefs we have kept in dresser drawers, of postcards from the places where the night forgets its floors. You say you like the sound of keys rehearsing other doors. I say I like the quiet that remembers how it roars. A black cat does a pirouette around your rain-soaked boots. We build a tiny orchestra from bottles, bricks, and flutes. I taste the smoke on syllables and plan a row of shoots where hope could grow in concrete cracks and sweetly hoard its fruit. Your fingers smell of cedar and a cafe down on 3rd. I memorize the commas in each complicated word. The thunder keeps its distance like a secret never heard. And lightning, like a camera, makes us saints without a church. The cigarette's lunar, the filter stained with kiss. We drop it in the puddle where reflections write us this. Perfume rain keeps falling, steady, merciless. I take your arm and vow to always walk you through abyss. A puddle keeps a star for us and trembles at our feet. Cigarette moons go dim and let the alley hum be sweet. Perfume rain writes cursive on the window of the street. We close the matchbook warm and full with vows we'll never cheat. The bar is lined with portraits of the singers time forgot. Their eyes are made of brass and blue, their mouths are lacquered not. You order something bitter with a citrus twist I spot. I write my name on napkins like a sail that will not rot. A trumpet smokes in shadows, the drummer counts in rain. The The bartender polishes a doubt, then sets it down again. Our elbows touch like strangers on a fast and breathing train. I read the fortune in your pulse and mispronounce your pain. There are lipstick ghosts on glasses, pink and ruby thin. They kiss the rims and fade away like little vinyl sins. You tilt the light to catch them, say that love begins where someone leaves a mark that wants a mouth to spin. We talk about the middle parts of movies no one saw, the ways an evening puzzles itself into a law, how longing isn't fire but a silk that wants a floor to snag against and bruise a heart that won't accept its draw. The jukebox clicks a memory and spills a honey hymn. I taste the rind of oranges and learn your quiet grim. You laugh into the glass and blur the edges to the brim, then leave a coral orbit on the moon I'll never dim. Closing time arranges chairs like soldiers in a row. We step outside, the neon coughs a coral lake in glow. Your number on a coaster lifts a wind I didn't know. I keep the ghosts and follow where the street lights wanna go. The alley takes our footsteps like a vinyl taking grooves. You tuck the coaster number where the midnight softly proves. Lipstick ghosts keep orbiting the bar in quiet moves. I follow through the wet neon where every rumor soothes. A postcard curls inside my coat, the ink a city blue. I wrote it on the fire escape where rooftops drink the dew. The pigeon choir started up and praised a modest view. I told you how the laundry lines were flags of people true. Your windowsill grows basil like a saint inside a jar. You say it tastes like summer when the nights refuse to spar. I plan to kiss behind your ear and label it a star, then read the card aloud beneath a siren from afar. The metal steps remember all the footprints we have made. We sit with cups and breathe the dusk we never will evade. The alley's little symphony is tender yet afraid of mornings that will shuffle us to obligations played. I promise to be brave in ways that look like folding sheets, like buying healthier strawberries, like learning smaller feats. To love you with a steadiness that glows in humble heats. Postcard from the fire escape, a pledge the city eats. We listen to a neighbor's radio through paper walls. They sing along off key and let the harmony have falls. You kiss my palm and draw a heart that almost never stalls. We watch the moon appoint us to its narrow marble halls. I lick the stamp with hope and press it firm and straight. The basil nods approval from its terracotta plate. Fire escape confessions find a neighborhood of fate. We mail our softer promises before it gets too late. Graphite stains my fingers from the skyline's iron spine. We trace the rust like constellations, lovers realign. A rooftop cat approves and curls around our line. And somewhere mailbags sail with words that steadily incline. A postcard curls inside my coat, the ink a city blue. I wrote it on the fire escape where rooftops drink the dew. The pigeon choir started up and praised a modest view. I told you how the laundry lines were flags of people true. Your windowsill grows basil like a saint inside a jar. You say it tastes like summer when the nights refuse to spar. I plant a kiss behind your ear and label it a star. Then read the card aloud beneath the siren from afar. We sit with cups and breathe the dusk we never will evade. The alley's little symphony is tender yet afraid of mornings that will shuffle us to obligations played. I promise to be brave in ways that look like folding sheets, like buying healthier strawberries, like learning smaller feats, to love you with a steadiness that glows in humble heats. Postcard from the fire escape, a pledge the city eats. We listen to a neighbor's radio through paper walls. They sing along off key and let the harmony have falls. You kiss my palm and draw a heart that almost never stalls. We watch the moon appoint us to its narrow marble halls. I lick the stamp with hope and press it firm and straight. The basil nods approval from its terracotta plate. Fire escape confessions find a neighborhood of fate. We mail our softer promises constellations, lovers realign. A rooftop cat approves and curls around our line, and somewhere mailbags sail with words that steadily